All right, so this first topic, a former state correctional officer allegedly assaulted at least 22 female inmates. Now, we know.
Say that again. What happened?
Is a former state correctional officer allegedly assaulted at least 22 female inmates. So there's a whole article on this, but I'm not gonna read the whole joint. But we can. I don't even really think we need to read between the lines. It's like it's there. You know what I'm saying? So
what does she do? How does she insult them?
I mean, how do you know what I'm saying?
Because insult can be a lot of different things.
No, not insult, assault.
I mean, assault. So,
yeah. So,
like verbal assault?
Physical. Like physical. You know what I'm saying?
That's a lot of inmates.
Yeah.
She's mad.
Yeah, I was talking.
I mean, is that a female or a guy? I said a man?
Female.
It's an assumption. Like I can pull up the article, but as a matter of fact, let me just pull that.
Because why would a man assault him? I think he would do more than just be assaulting.
Yeah, but assault can mean a number of things, right? It can be verbal. It can be fondling. True. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but they would say.
Let me just put this on the record.
That might just put assault just to
let me just put this on the record.
The whole,
let me just put this on the record.
You challenge Sholo.
I don't want to be locked up, but if I'm locked up and I got a female officer if it's a female officer that's gorgeous, you can you can physically assault me.
I really knew where you was going.
Because you said it.
That's why I said. I mean, I would think.
Be careful what you ask.
I would think if it's.
That's why I said I'm not. That's why I said I'm not.
I would think if there's a lot of women and it's a male, person that does it. I think they would actually be wanting that. I don't know. Just like Solo said, I mean, I don't know. I think
what man would not want to be locked up for 20 some years, and you get sexually assaulted by somebody who's sexy?
Yeah,
it's not gonna be assault. It's gonna be
they're gonna tell on
God.
You. Exactly. I mean, are they gonna tell on you?
I've been waiting this for 20 years.
But not everybody, right? Like there's, you know what I'm saying? You can. I mean, even if you locked up, there's still. Violation is violation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just can't see no brother talk about. I need to write a complaint.
Yeah.
For this lady who been assaulting me. What has she been doing? She been trying to touch me in the places I don't like.
Well, they touched in years.
Think they even believe you? They be like, man, stop playing, man. Get the heck away from here, man. Actually, the other inmates might get mad at you. Like,
exactly.
did you just tell?
You messed up the whole thing for everybody.
Exactly. Now they covering their cells every time they walk in here, man.
I feel dirty.
Go get the soap and the sock.
Yeah, man.
The sock.
Are you snitching?
The lock. I feel violated.
But no, it's a real thing though, right? I mean, obviously somebody said something. I
think it has something to do with it sounds like a racial thing, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You think so?
Why do you think
20 some people? 20 people? You doing it? It's got to be racial. That's got to be a racial thing.
A racial thing? But I don't know.
But nah, man, I think I don't necessarily think it's racial. I just think it's, just a person, individual. You know what I'm saying? Because I would bet that it's probably some, and it go ways, right? I bet it's some male and female, probably correctional officers that just want to do it, just want to do that.
You think they feeling it? They shaking. They like. I think I want to. I don't know. I would think if I mean it happens.
Like picture.
Okay, let's say this. Let's say
we got a comment on IG from Erica Tizano. Thank you for joining, sweetheart. Appreciate you jumping in tonight. She said it does happen though, and they have crooked officers in prison who does things like that.
Yeah, and that's where I was going with it too. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't put it past someone who is, let's say a rapist, right? Because
they in there.
You until you get caught, right? So it's possible for a correctional officer to be a rapist and to specifically go after a job like that.
No,
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 you don't think so?
there's an extensive background check. Not a rapist. If you convicted of rape, you're not
convicted. I'm
No,
just saying
he
you
just
can
had those
you can be
qualities.
one.
Yeah.
Has those
Okay, I thought you
traits
were talking
before
about. Okay,
even getting in there.
I thought you were talking about like actually being convicted.
No.
There's
Of
guys,
rape,
there's
whoa,
guys
like-
in there that have they have turned like to that. Yeah, they're not
You know what I'm
always
saying?
rapists. Yeah, you're right. They've been in it for so long that they have not seen a woman,
Mhm.
so they find themselves gravitating to whatever's close to them in that facility. You know what I'm saying? So, that's tough. I mean, but I couldn't see an officer molesting
What?
This time molesting.
No, I'm saying
well,
I couldn't see an officer molesting an inmate. I could see an inmate molesting an officer.
Yeah, you can.
No,
What?
yeah, no,
I mean,
bro.
have you ever
What?
seen
Man to
That gotta go
man.
both
Obviously,
ways.
Man to man, woman to woman,
Man
woman
to
to
woman.
man,
I mean,
man,
yeah.
woman. Yes.
I'm just saying, like, I don't see the number being higher. You feel me?
What?
Have you seen Orange is the New Black?
What?
Yeah, I have seen that. That is actually interesting.
Man, hey,
The
look.
Spanish lady who's dating the officer, she had yams.
Yeah, it could be women, man, woman, and they all do it.
No, but what I'm saying is that
This is what I would say.
I feel like certain locations, not for everybody, but I feel like inmates control the actual.
No. In the criminal justice system, this is what I always say to people. You have to have a life outside of that.
Mhm.
Okay.
If you do not have because
It'll consume you.
there it is.
Yeah.
It will consume you so much where you find yourself being actually liking
Feeling like an inmate.
exactly, and
Wow.
then starting to like one. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then and I will tell you this: is a lot of people that lose their livelihood because of they don't control their emotions when it comes to working in
lose
the
their
prison
job,
setting.
lose everything.
They use everything. And that's what I'm saying. If you do not have a life outside of the criminal justice system, that will happen.
Yeah.
Period.
And I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying I would think that it would be more inmates, wanting to, draw that in versus it being, you know what I mean? Because you gotta think they're not wanting to lose their job.
I got a comment. Erica Zeno said, oh yes, women officers do it too. And exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they definitely do. Yeah.
It's woman, yeah, they do it all the time.
That's what we're talking about right now. A women officer
Okay.
doing this to other women.
So let's say this then, and
inmates.
I'm gonna go further. Then why do they do it? What is the reason? What do y'all think the reasons are?
What are we talking about? The
Like,
officer doing
Yeah,
it to the
officer
inmate?
or inmate officer. What will be some of the reasons they will like? Okay, we know they're incarcerated.
Mhm.
So why go down that road?
I mean, I agree, but it's like it could be a number of reasons. It could be physical attraction, right? You could be in
So
there.
there's nobody in the street that you physically attracted to.
It just depends. It depends on the person, right?
Mhm.
Because you got women and you got men that write these, inmates in jail, right? They out on the outside. There's plenty of dudes out here,
Well,
right?
have y'all ever seen Love After Lockup? I say it every show.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
So what's your intake on
So
that?
it's actually an episode now where there's a female who was like a nurse in the jails,
Mhm.
and she hooked up with this one dude who's in the jail, and she's moving all the way like to another state just so she can be with him when he get out.
Right.
But he done overdosed in jail,
Wow.
so who knows when he gonna get out now, and he's got a drug problem. So it's like
right.
that's a prime example
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah,
Of
we
someone
got
messing
comments.
with an inmate.
We got comments. Erica, Tyler speaks for me. Hey, what's going on?
What up,
Happy
Tyler
holidays.
speaks for me.
Happy holidays to you, girl. Erica Tazino said multiple reasons could be they not getting attention from their mate at home.
Mhm.
That's one of the biggest reasons.
Or they don't have a mate at home.
Or they don't
Yeah,
have one at
you
home.
got some
you know?
some people who are a little weird that or not necessarily say weird. Let's say not social. So
Yeah.
they don't have a social life outside of it. So
Right.
the jail is their social life,
Yeah.
Right.
and they can talk to these people any way they want to.
Mhm.
It makes them feel special. Like
No
I can talk
judgment.
to you like trash. You ain't gonna say nothing to because you need me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you need me. I can give you extra this or extra that, or let you go out. And, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So
And once you get out, guess what? You're gonna rely on me.
Right.
You're gonna rely on me for
Yeah.
everything. That means you ain't going nowhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
true that.
So there's
That's
a lot
tough.
of reasons,
That's
man.
tough.
It's a whole
That's tough.
bunch of reasons, man.
Yeah.
But I still think it's dudes. It's tough. I mean, because you don't want to judge them because they're locked up. But I mean, if they got like 10, 15, 20 years, I mean, come on.
I mean, but if you think about it, it ain't just got to be sexually either. It can be
and
just
you're right.
abusive. I mean,
Yeah,
right.
I've heard stories where, you know what I'm saying, they get a cat down and they take phone books and beat them with the books so it don't leave a mark and stuff. So I mean, it's a lot of abuse. But, you know.
Yes, it's one of
I
them.
pray that I never have to go and deal with that. I'm telling you that.
Deal with what?
With jail. I never want to go there.
Oh, as a worker or as an actual inmate?
As an actual inmate.
I know,
You
right?
don't want to go there. You don't want to go there to either one, actually.
As an actual inmate, boy, I tell you.
Inmate or worker, I don't think it's
Lord
I don't think it's a great place, period. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Right.
It'll humble you, it'll make you really think about and appreciate what you have on the outside.
Yeah.
Whether if you working, and what's crazy is that what I have noticed with not just inmates but officers that work on the outside, they seem very depressed. And this is what's crazy. This may sound crazy, but they turn into alcoholics.
You mean the officers?
Yes, because of the stress,
The stuff that they see.
yeah,
on the job.
and a lot of them hide too because they're not out in the public because they, a lot of people that may be locked up can see them. So if you're that officer where you're not welcome or liked and you're out in the public, they're gonna be like, oh, that's the dude right there that did this to me, A, B, and C. So
well, I think that goes back to you have to have a life outside of the job. Of course we're gonna say that's for any job, but working 12 hours, working long hours at a prison, you have to have a life outside of that, and that's where your partner come into play as well. Who your partner is coming to play as well,
right?
Because you already in a negative environment, and then to come home and not have peace, you got to come home to that joy and that happiness.
Right.
Yeah.
We got one comment. Ercino said, "I heard it's the worst place to be."
Yeah.
I mean, but I got a lot of respect for the officers, man. I mean, having COs having to do that job, it's gotta be a tough job. But who else I got a lot of respect for, man? And I actually applied to be a firefighter one time, man. I was going through the process of Fairfax County, and man, like now that through the grace of God, through the grace of God, I wasn't put in that position to do that type of job.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how would I really deal with it? Do you realize all the stuff you have to deal with being a firefighter, bro?
Yeah,
I was gonna say, can you imagine? Not just that. Can you imagine the stress you put on not just yourself but your family?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Especially if you got kids young, you got a family, and you out, you spending a lot of time trying to save other lives that you can't even save your own family.
Yeah.
You can't even save your own house.
And that's the part where I don't like about these type of jobs all the way around, is the fact that your family suffers in a way. It don't matter any way, shape, or form. You could try your best, the family will suffer in some type of way.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing I wanted to say about the prisons and stuff like that is, I the one thing I like, to comment on what you said, B, I am pro the good officers, the good correctional, and you know what I'm saying, because they ain't all good, but but also like I like when they do those programs where they take kids at that particular age group, like 10 to 14, scared straight, and they take them in and they let them see
what it's like
the inside of the prison, because you know what I'm saying, like I went through, it wasn't a scared straight, like I wasn't no bad, it was just like something that it was through my church, right? And we went to the jail, and they just took us through the jail to go see what it was like down in Fairfax County. And it's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? They in there yelling and screaming, and one dude in his cell, he had the glass, they had him behind the glass and stuff. He took a dump in his thing and threw his his poop at the door. Dang. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
my father actually works in the prison for Fairfax County, and he says the hardest thing is when he sees family members in there, because you can't hug them, you can't touch them, you can't do anything because that's your job. There's a line that separates you. That's so. And the sad thing about it is, he says the amount of family members he may come across, and there are people that he's known and be like, man, they in there, and it changes your mindset on how you see things. You know what I'm saying? Like one of my cousins that you guys do know, his brother was in there, and he saw him, and my cousin said, hey, Unc, like this, and went to hug him, and they forgot. And my dad said that like troubled him, because he hasn't seen him in so long that he wanted to hug him. He was like, what do you do now? Now I gotta look at you as an inmate in here and not my family.
Got to separate.
You get what I'm saying? So when I heard that, I was just like, that's tough, because it's like, how do you handle that when you in that position? You know what I mean? You're now he's a number. You know what I mean? And you can't even. You know what I mean? You can see him, but you could see that he's alive. You could tell people, hey, I know where he's at. He's okay, but at the same time, it's just I don't wish that place on anybody. I don't care. I understand what B was saying. Like, he commends them, and I understand where you're coming from about the good ones, because I feel like if you're going to do that job like Jody did, and I always said Jody would be a good correctional officer, because he knows both ends. He has street smarts as well as business smarts. So he knows the other side of having friends or family in that type of cycle. You get what I'm saying? So he knows how to maneuver there and know how to relate, talk to people and things like that. So he will be the officer that people would look for advice, look for help, look for questions, answers. You know what I'm saying? To where he's not the bad officer. He's not the officer. Oh, here come Officer Jody. Don't nobody want. You know what I'm saying? He's the one where they're like, oh, they probably can't wait for him to come to work, because they realize their day is going to be lighter and probably better. And people don't realize a lot of the times it's the officers that make the whole prison work good, smoothly.